Glad you could join us again on another episode of Community Report. Long before now, farming has always been a vocation or business venture that attracted little attention or no interest at all, especially among city dwellers and core investors. All of that seems to be changing, and increasingly so, considering Nigeria's economic reality when every government and group are preaching diversification. Perhaps some years before now, the Anambra state government peeped into today and decided to make agriculture the fulcrum for economic development in the state. The outcome has seen several communities become a hub for rice farming. It has blossomed to a point where the state is now self-sufficient in local rice availability, with plans to increase capacity for export. Stay tuned to see the rice revolution from communities in Anambra State. I'm your host, Olu Phillips. Welcome. Nigeria is set to consume an average of 6 million metric tons of imported parboiled rice annually. At the current retail price averaging 17,000 naira per 50 kg bag, that clearly puts so much strain on foreign exchange when you multiply that by millions of tons consumed annually in the country. The implications are becoming more visible than can be accommodated within reasonable trade exchange between countries. Jobs are created in those countries, production skills up there, locals are empowered financially, and the list goes on. What impact that brings to the local economy are all the opportunities being exported abroad. Enough of that imbalance already. Some states in Nigeria are thinking inward. Many of them have launched, both openly and silently, some agricultural scheme aimed at either food sustainability or as investment of some sort. Anambra State has come under the radar, and of particular interest is its rice production and revolution.
When my governor assumed office, we were realizing that the rice production was under 100,000 metric tons. So within 1 year of my assuming office, we were able to, up until date now, we're now able to do about 190. And our target for this farming season is to get up to 210,000 metric tons. We looked at the figures, and we know clearly what the federal government policy, being in the government, you know the policy shift, you know clearly what the state or the federal government is strategically planning to do for the country. And we knew the economic situation of the environment, and then rice being one of the staple crops that Nigeria obviously has, and Anambra State, obviously with a comparative advantage that we have based on the analysis and the arability of our land. As a matter of fact, within the 21 local government, about 9 local governments we do rice and do it very well, coupled with the arability of our soil to produce rice. And then we zoomed in on that and began to work with our farmers in tandem with programs that we have in the ministry. We have Fadema, we have Value Chain, and the new one, ATAP, that just started up. And then because also we have extension work, our ADP extension services are quite very robust and strong in the state. As a matter of fact, I think Anambra State is one of the states that's still got a very strong ADP extension activities in the country. So we piggybacked on this and made sure that we had a strong focus.
In 2014, the state governor was very clear on what he wanted to achieve using rice production. In his exact words, this administration would boost rice production in the state from the present 80,000 metric tons to 400,000 metric tons. Not very many are aware that communities in Anambra State are involved in an age-long tradition of cultivating rice. These local farmers scattered across the state cultivated rice, harvested and packaged it, but it never made it big out the markets, which led to a glut in rice. There are 7 local government areas in the state that are involved in rice production. These local governments are Anambra East, Anambra West, Awka North, Orumba North, Orumba South, Ogbaru, and Anyamelum local government. In Anyamelum alone, there are 8 communities who do this for a living and has become a part of their Asian history. However, it has remained at the realms of subsistence farming.
We do rice in 9 local governments out of the 21 local governments. From our analysis, we have over 12 to 13,000 cooperatives, validated cooperatives. A lot more are coming on board. And these 9 local governments are doing rice in right size quantity. And some of them we do 2 cycles, some of them are irrigated, some of them are still running both wet and dry season as they should. And the programs are also helping to irrigate some of this environment. And so yes, the rice that we have planted in Anambra State are quite enormous to give us the expected yield that we want. Matter of fact, we were, as at 2014, earlier in the year 2014, before my governor took over, we were doing the yield of between 2.5 to 3 point something metric tons per hectare. But right now we've graduated from that to about 4 to 5 metric tons. As a matter of fact, this season we've got somewhere, some places in Omo where we're now doing between 6 to 7 metric tons per hectare. Fantastic report there. And we anticipate that once the lower river basin, once we irrigate that environment properly as we would want, and that's what is happening with the ATAPS program that's coming on board now, that we will have some effectively steady experience of our yield, which we're targeting between 6 to 7, at least for a good start. And I'm sure that would move up.
After everything, we still have many challenges. Then the challenges we still need to think another to work for us, and the road and the many other things. We did not have anyone, even a single rice mill in this Anako. Not have one. Then we need many threshers and the tractor and the other things. We need many. So we are just appreciate everything that they are doing, but we are begging them to do more.
So having identified this challenge from inception, the state government decided it was time to add value to local rice production. The outcome is the stimulus that brought about multi-billion naira investments from private investors who went into the stoning of the rice, which was a major challenge with locally produced rice. The production may be local and indigenous to these communities, but the ambition is to make it competitive with the species that are imported if it must stand any chance of becoming the family choice. Once again, these communities got some state support with long-grain species called Faro 44.
We knew that we needed to do a lot more in terms of sensitizing our farmers with input provisioning and extension work. So we, His Excellency, funded distribution of certified seeds, rice seeds. And how we did that is we were looking at how best we could sustainably run this program. So we developed a sustainable model that would work such that we wouldn't have to go back to the government or to His Excellency to ask for more money. So 2 ways we followed that up. One, we developed a scheme where we will be doing a multiplication center, multiplication of these seeds. And also we started by providing the seed certified seeds to our farmers. And these seeds, we did that in such a way that we brokered a tripartite sort of relationship. It's more like the way the Anchor program works. So we provide the seats, we provide the off-takers, and the farmers are there to utilize the seats. So what we have done is tying up with the off-takers who would now buy up the harvested crops from seeds, harvested rice from the farmers, and these off-takers are processors, and so we're pretty sure that when this rice are off-taken, we know that it's going to be processed properly. So tying that up has now encouraged our farmers to know that as they're planting and harvesting, a buyer is there for them. To sensitize this, last year, 2015, December, His Excellency provided rice free of charge to public civil servants and both the retired servants and all whatnot. So, and we mopped up rice in this state. What that did for us is, one, provided the rice sensitization to our farmers who hasn't had that sort of experience before, because when we started that, they didn't realize it was real. And when they started realizing that it was real, they all came out in full force. So we now sensitize the farmers. We put money into the hands of our farmers. We introduce more farmers to the scheme. So a lot of farmers now were able to go in after that very huge sales and distribution that we did. They were now able to go back to the farms again. They were unable to, re-engage to see that this is a well-driven business, because they made some money and they want to go back and to farming again.
Today, the once local farms cultivated by local farmers for local rice production has become a huge industrial hub, because it has attracted huge industrialists who helped mechanize the entire process.
Before the oil was discovered, agriculture was a major major revenue earning commodity. But when the oil was discovered, all attention was shifted to oil, and we abandoned farming. So we got it wrong because we shifted the oil, which the people felt that it was the easier way to make money. But agriculture, supposed to be the mainstay of African countries, and Nigeria in particular. So again, the government, apart from shifting to oil, did not support even those who are still in the agribusiness. So all the financial support we are not giving, the infrastructures were not available, the roads to the farmlands were not available, and all the incentives that are required, for example, bringing equipment, like the kind of mechanized farming we are doing now, you need a lot of equipment, tractors, bulldozers, and so on. And these things cost a lot of money. And you need incentive to bring them. You can't tax them, or you can't impose duty on such equipment like every other equipment. So you need incentive. So all those things were not given to the farmers in those days. So but now the government is doing something about it, trying to give all the incentives and then give the financial support to the CBN and other sources of help.
We have started this project in 2014, and from there we have started planting this rice. Started planting rice in this year on a professional GPS land leveling. Okay, and total hectares we planted is around 1,000 hectares we planted this year. The yield we are expecting around 4.5 to 5 ton per hectare. That's what we are expecting it. And this farm is a state-of-the-art farm, the type of farm you try to see in Europe or Asia or some in other developed countries. This farm has got a central drainage system, which any excess water comes into the fields, it will go back to the river. We have done GPS land leveling. We have got state-of-the-art equipment like 530 HP John Deere tractors. Okay, we have got combine harvesters. Like for this type of combine harvester, nobody has got it other than us. Okay, the model which we got it.